therapist by background, and I am currently the clinical lead for specialist rehab services. So I have worked for many years into order, and for the last 18 months have been working for specialist rehab services. So as Kati said, I am one of the co-chairs for the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network, and I'm just about to start sharing my screen. And I just want to make sure that you can see the slides. Can people see those slides all right?
We can see your slide deck down the side. So, now it's right. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Okay. So, look, first of all, I just wanted to bring the apologies for Colette Muir was unable to make it today. So she would have loved to have been here, but she's actually speaking and presenting at another conference. So, so the purpose of today, for me, I've come today to talk about the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network and the things that we'd like to talk about. So in general, the Paediatric Society and what that's all about, the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network, the things that we've done. We would really love to also get ideas from yourselves around what projects you think would be very useful for the network to run as well, and opportunities for you to get involved as well. And we'd really love to use the chat function through the session so that we can capture project ideas that you can have. And then if you would like to keep in touch or join a mailing list, then you can email the Kati at neurodevelopmental at paediatrics.org.nz. Okay, so I really love this to be interactive, so we'll have an opportunity at the end to have some questions as well. So I basically wanted to do, I know you see the slide often every week when you come to the Paediatric Lunch and Learns, but I wanted to talk about it in a slightly different way today and just talk about, firstly, the clinical network, and then why I personally joined the Paediatric Society and the things that I see the Paediatric Society has really offered me through my career as I've been a part of the Paediatric Society. So the clinical network, the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network, is a new network that has been the merging of two previous networks, the Child Development Network and the Cerebral Palsy Network. And those networks were operating for a number of years and did some amazing work from each of those networks. The Lunch and Learn actually came out of the Child Development Network. And I know that we've got a couple of members online. I know Amy and Anna are here that were part of the Cerebral Palsy Network, and really just want to acknowledge the great work that was done through that network as well. So this has been a bringing together of two networks. I want to speak to the landscape that is the health landscape at the moment, and thinking particularly around the work that has been done at Te Whatu Ora and the emphasis that there is on clinical networks. So Te Whatu Ora is setting up clinical networks across a number of different areas, and paediatrics will be an area as well that is looked at in terms of clinical networks. And there is, I guess, a desire for clinicians to be able to speak into developing work programs, guidance, best ways of working. And this is something that the clinical network is looking to do as part of the Paediatric Society as well. So if I was to say, who is the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network? I would actually say, and everybody who's here today, you are all part of the clinical network. You've got a passion and an interest in this area of work, in the children that we look after and whānau. And we've got a wide base of membership. This network works really, really closely with other networks that are part of the Paediatric Society, and two that we work quite closely with are the General Paediatric Clinical Network and the Child Protection Clinical Network. And there's some real overlaps there in the work that we're doing. And so we will often peer review different work, or we'll actually try and do projects together or education days together. And there's something that's coming up that I'd love to talk to you about at the conference that's coming up later on. So you are part of the network. We do have a reference group. and the reference group role is to steer the direction of the work priorities that this clinical network is doing, so the work that we're doing. And the other thing that we are a part of are the Paediatric Society's conferences and special interest group days as well. And there is a conference this year which has been held in Tamaki Makaurau, and there is a special interest group that the Neurodevelopmental Clinical Network has joined forces with the Child Protection Network. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through. So why did I join the Paediatric Society? I guess just a few things that I just want to speak to for myself. I think that when I joined a number of years ago now, and one of the main drivers for me was really to be part of a wider multidisciplinary group of clinicians that were passionate about working in the area of paediatrics, where I could learn, I could be part of discussion groups, where I could be part of projects. And it's truly multidisciplinary. I think it's it's an organisation where you can sit alongside paediatricians, doctors, other allied health, our nursing colleagues, and it truly does represent a really broad range of, I guess, clinicians that are working together. There is also the opportunity to be a part of a members hub and be part of discussion board. So every week there are things that are sent out across the Paediatric Society, and the members hub, there will be discussions. There are the submissions that come through. It allows you to have a voice at a much higher level than you possibly can have within your everyday working environment. There's also job vacancies advertised. It talks about projects that are going in and provides an opportunity for you to get involved in projects as well. I think there's a real opportunity though for career growth as well. Opportunities to develop both clinical skills, clinical leadership, project skills. And for myself, that's something that I've seen myself be able to actually benefit from as being part of the clinical, of this clinical network and the Paediatric Society. And I just wanted to say too that last year I was really fortunate to be a recipient of the Education Fund. And there is a very generous education fund that when you are a member of the Paediatric Society, that is allied health and nursing we can apply to. So I was awarded some funding to attend the Paediatric Society's conference last year. So it's a very generous fund, and I know that Jane has had the opportunity as well to be a recipient of that. So the Lunch and Learn you know about because you're already here today, and I know you come. This has been a work stream that we have been passionate about, providing an opportunity and a platform to really bring some education opportunities through to allied health, nursing, medical attended as well, families if they want to as well. And I want to firstly start off by just a huge thanks and acknowledgement of both Donna Smith and Jane Hamer, who have really, really led the Lunch and Learn over the last couple of years. And they've been so passionate and committed. Jane was one of the original group alongside myself, and she's been in here for the long haul. So huge thanks to Jane. And we've had Lisa just join the group recently. But one of the things that I do need to say is that we really need you. We really need some new people to come on board to really help support just the development of and the leadership of this group. There are consistently high numbers of people who attend the Lunch and Learn. And I think it's a great opportunity you might be sitting somewhere and go, I actually want to develop my career. I'd love an opportunity to have some leadership or some clinical growth. This is an opportunity. And what I would love you to do is to email through to Kati and just say, look, I'd be really interested. It's not daunting. It's not going to be super overwhelming. It is a group of people coming together, and the demand won't be excessive. I can assure you of that. There will be some meetings that might be every couple of months, and then there is a program and maybe getting some brains, trying to generate ideas of speakers and contacting speakers and that type of thing. So please, we need your help. We want this Lunch and Learn to be sustainable moving forward. And in order for it to be sustainable, what we really, really need is people to step in and help shoulder the load. We will be taking our work priorities to the reference group, and we do need to consider sustainability as we move forward. So please, I hope that's a plug, and I hope there will be somebody that will be willing to step up and help as well with that. So some of the other work that we've been doing, this is very much hot off the press. There is going to be published very shortly some Down syndrome overview and general principles, which will be going onto the Starship website. This has got information for medical, nursing, allied health within it. It's going to our reference group in the next week just to be endorsed. But look out for this, because this is a great piece of work that has got some very informative information in it for clinicians. And it's going to be a great resource for yourselves for upskilling in that area. The other work that we've been involved in is that we have been involved in a number of submissions and projects. So we have been involved in a submission on the proposal to change the funding restrictions and regulatory restrictions for treatment for ADHD, stimulant treatment for ADHD. And then we've also had the opportunity to speak into the submission for the FASD Strategic Action Plan as well. Now, the way that this happens is that if you are a part of our Members Hub, there is an opportunity on there where we call for interested parties to perhaps be a part of a group to read the submission and to give their ideas and thoughts into that submission as well. So there's ways that you can do that. This is at quite a high level strategic level. And I think, again, it's that opportunity to have your voice into shaping sometimes legislation, sometimes action plans, sometimes where funding is going to come from for the groups of tamariki and their whānau that we support. So it's really strategic and important that we can have our voice. And can I make a huge plug for nursing and allied health? We so need your voice. You have such a different perspective in journeying with tamariki and whānau and seeing what the needs might be, and actually being able to speak into some of those areas is a real privilege, and it's an opportunity being part of the network to do that. We also are involved in developing resources for whānau and putting them onto kids' health. And at the moment, we have a group of clinicians looking at some of the information that's there for the Cerebral Palsy Network as well. And the other thing that we have is that I spoke about is a joint satellite day program coming up for the Paediatric Society conference. So the conference is over a couple of days, but the day prior to the conference, there will be a special interest group. So we are joining with the Child Protection Clinical Network. The program is still being organised as we speak. There is an opportunity. We have about an hour and a half that is free, and we really wanted it if people had ideas of something that you would like to see at that special interest group that would be of specific interest, I guess, to allied health. We would really love to have your ideas on that. I will get Kati to come on in here at the moment and see if I've forgotten some of the things that are happening at that special interest group day, just to let you know. But we do have presenters from we have somebody who will be presenting from Māori and somebody from Pacific, sort of parenting and sort of just the whole way of families, how they would look at their journey with their children. So that is going to be there's going to be a huge cultural element to the morning. We have an opportunity to hear from Ministry of Health, ACC, Whaikaha, around some initiatives that will be happening as well. As I said, we have an opportunity to have about an hour and a half that is specifically for allied health. And so if there is something that's burning that you go, this would be amazing, then we'd love to hear from you. but we'd also have an opportunity. There will be other speakers there that we could, so the day will come together and the program will be circulated for everybody to see at the time. Kati, have I forgotten anything there?
No, you gave a good overview. The only addition I would say that the speakers are quite cognizant that we want to look at it sort of complexity point of view. So no, they're not going to be just presenting on parenting program from the Maori point of view, but how does it look like in the context of having complexities either from child protection or developmental challenges or challenging family dynamics point of view. The other aspect is that we are really wanting to push for the viewpoint of the allied health. So what should we do? What are the topics and the viewpoints that this makes really, really worthwhile for allied health representatives to attend? And that is where we need your help as well. But yeah, those are probably my 2 cents worth.
Thanks. Fiona. You've got your hand up. Oh, you're just on mute.
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Denise. I just wanted to mention also that we've been talking with Kati and Colette from the point of view of the New Zealand Child and Youth Epi Service about sharing some sessions at your special interest group satellite, because as fate would have it, we have been timetabled to have the same slot in the morning before. And I think it would be fantastic if we could come to some arrangement whereby we can present all the work that we've been doing. So specifically Karen and Judith who are on the call today from the service. They've been doing a lot of work using the IDI to look at neurodevelopmental disorders by region and by levels of deprivation, ethnicity, etc. And this is really the first time this has been comprehensively done for the country. So it'd be a marvellous opportunity for us to share that information for you and just get your insights about what you think is going on, where you think the areas of need are.
Wonderful. Thanks, Fiona. Yep, that's wonderful. Thank you. So look, I guess we wanted to create some space for conversation because you're all part of the network, and to get ideas around projects that we can be doing. I do want to say, and just preface that we have a reference group that is a steering group, and we are all the members. So whilst we love to hear the ideas as well, we really need people to be involved as well in getting projects completed. I think the great thing is that we have a broad base, so that if we've got a project idea and we've got a project plan, that we can take that through to help develop that up. And there's support with Kati around project support for that as well. Then what we can actually do from there is take that forward and, out to the members and go, who would be interested in participating in a project around whatever is decided. So yeah, I just want to open the floor and just see if there are ideas. Ali, did you have anything that you wanted to?
I do, actually. I pressed the wrong thing, so it went, all these
that.
thumbs
up. There's lots of thumbs up, and I think it's supposed to be a hands up.
It is supposed to be a hands up. I need new glasses. So kia ora, everyone. I'm Alison Laversha, and I'm a community teacher in Auckland. I'm looking for, I was hoping to formalise a project around information for parents about development. And I suppose this has come about for 2 reasons. One is because I've been working with Kahutarima on the Well Child Review and also adapting the ages and stages. So it's likely that the ages and stages will be used as the future developmental tool, surveillance tool across the Well Child schedule. It's probably still going to take a year and a half to get that going. but it does mean there's also a big push for the nurses to increase their child development knowledge and also to provide a whole lot more support. The ministry sort of says see and support as opposed to see and refer, but we know that the well child providers don't tend to refer off willy-nilly anyway. But we're really looking at supports and things that the well child providers and places that both Kayako and well child providers can signpost to parents about things like bottom shuffling or how to encourage your child to have more tummy time or crawling or whatever. And so we've started doing some of that on kids' health. And it would be wonderful to have a group of people who would be looking at pulling together some of the information so that we've got something that's about general child development and things that parents can do to support their child generally, and then the red flags or the milestones. So we're linking to kids to CDC for those, and then the places that you can go to get some additional support and who might need that. We've started that particularly around communication because we know that there's been a whole lot of kiddies with social and communication differences identified in the well child schedule, and then they're sort of referred to GPs who are then referred to pediatrics, and then 12 months later they might be seen and get a diagnosis. But in the meantime, the parents don't know what to do and nobody might have mentioned differences or ASD. So that's one component. And the other one is really had a conversation with some of you, it'll have been some of you at the Child Development Day that was recently, and Whaikaha, really about all of the child development teams are having to their websites are all going to one at Health New Zealand. So it's an opportunity to look at what are the common things that can be on the first port for disability, and what are some of the common things that could be on kids' health. So they both are linking to each other, and that parents can easily signpost, because many parents won't go to a disability website specifically if they're looking for things, but they want to know. So it's just an opportunity to get people together and sort of progress it forward.
Thanks, Alison. And I think we've got a time, haven't we, scheduled to catch up with you to discuss that more. So this is something that we're really quite keen, because it has come up from the reference group as well around information for parents. You've had one person already say they'd love to be involved. That's Emma.
And it was really, Emma, I suppose, just to make sure that we go through the formal process through your reference group and through the network, really, because we hadn't done that yet, and I didn't want to be, bypass what I was.
Thank you. And can I just say that allied health, we've just got such a huge, role to play in this as well, and such a lot of skills to add. So please, if that interests you at all, please reach out to Cardi, even if you don't want to put your name into the chat. Jane, you've got your hand up.
I have indeed. I just thought I would make a comment going back to the original part of your presentation, Denise, and I think Alison's, can I call it a pitch, Alison, or however you describe the piece of work that Ali is doing. But back to what Denise said at the beginning about we are all part of the network. We are all part of this opportunity to grow our role, thinking about joining the Paediatric Society and what it is to be involved in the Lunch and Learn or in a clinical network. What Ali's described is exactly some of the stuff that you get by joining the Paediatric Society. If you're an allied health person, that you hear of things that are going on that pique your interest, that you feel like you could influence. I see in there, Barry, you've written something about waiting time to referral, that the Lunch and Learn is something that came out of the Paediatric Society as a way of providing for those people who don't know much about the Paediatric Society and what it can do for you, because historically it's been paediatricians. It is a way to start those of us all around the country who are all passionate in our area about supporting children and families to learn something. We know Allied Health have no money for courses and stuff, and that is why we as a group started the Lunch and Learn as a way to provide some learning that was free, to get people to come together and to hear about what's happening for children within the child development space across the whole country. And if you are interested in hearing about some of those things like that Ali has just presented today, and you can put your hand up and be interested, that is great. I would like to say, from my perspective as a physio, joining the Paediatric Society and being part of the Lunch and Learn, it has been an awesome opportunity to start to connect with people around the country, hear about things that are totally outside my area of work, but hearing people speak and think, actually, I need to know more about that, or I want to be able to have a voice in that sphere. And joining the Paediatric Society or being part of the network is, or maybe you're a network friend, you're the person who puts your hand up to volunteer to join somebody else's work, but you don't want to be part of the Paediatric Society, then that is one way. By joining here, by putting your hand up, by being part of what else is going on, is a wonderful opportunity. Number two, I would say, for any allied health person who is wanting to develop their leadership skills, and I say leadership as in knowing about things wider than your team, this is a great, the Paediatric Society and the Lunch and Learn is a great way to start having some influence wider than your team and getting some skills. And I got some funding from the Paediatric Society to go to Cairns to the last Oz Academy. Wrote an application, they gave me all the money and that I asked for, and all I did was write a report, share the knowledge, and I presented at one of the Lunch and Learns. So it's not just about giving stuff, they are more than happy to give stuff back to you.
Absolutely.
Just one other thing, if anybody wanted to reach out and ask me about what it's like to be in the Paediatric Society, or to ask about what it's like being in the Lunch and Learn, yeah, we do need people, because Donna and I, along with Kati, have been running it just between the two of us for quite a while, and would be great to work together with a bigger team. I think it would be we'd love other people to join us, not just to help run it, but to think of other people that we don't know who we could invite. So I really would love you to reach out to me or to Kati. Kati's shared her email in the link there. Lunch and Learn is great. It's always a good session, and everyone's friendly. Me and Donna are friendly. Come and join us.
Thanks, Jane. Look, can I just give one quick plug for Allied Health and Nursing for Paediatric Society as well? The fees have actually been lowered in the last year, so their annual membership fees have actually been lowered as well. So I can't give you exactly what they are, but I think it's sitting around $50 for the year. If you want to join, you just go onto the website. You just fill out your application. You can click. You just need somebody to second you coming on. You can use my name there, and we can reach out to you. I did just want to acknowledge the people who have Marcus and Barry. You've got some comments here. I'm aware that we're sort of running out of time a little bit, but I did want to say we will look at that. And would you both be happy for us to reach out to you and have a conversation to get more clarity? Got the thumbs up from Barry. Marcus, are you happy for that? Perfect. Thank you. Do people have any other burning things that they would like to speak to in terms of project ideas, or any other comments that people would like to make? I realise that this is a very short, session in order to generate project ideas, and I guess what we wanted to do was just provide the opportunity to give an overview of what's happening, but also to say we need you all to get the ideas for projects as well, and to be part of the project groups. So Kati is the first port of call for any of those ideas, but we would really love you to reach out to us. Kati, could you just pop your email in the chat again?
Yep, I'm happy to do it. And I also, regarding, like, if you don't know which clinical network it belongs to, where does it belong to, just email me and I can find a home for it. We do multiple projects across different networks, like the wait time that Barry raised, which is a big issue. It links very strongly to general pediatrics as well. So we can always start joint projects as well. So you don't have to kind of know definitely where the home is. Just get in touch.
Yeah. And I think links with sleep respiratory are noted as well. That's definitely looking to build up the closer links with a number of different networks as we are doing work as well. We obviously link quite closely as well with the neonatal network as well. So there's a number of sort of groups that we definitely will connect with. Are there any other comments that people would like to make? I just realized that we sort of opened it up and said any ideas, and you may have come with ideas or you might generate some ideas. Please go away and talk to your teams. Please go and talk to your colleagues. Think about what could be useful in your workspace, in your environment, because I guarantee if it's something you think is useful, others will find it useful as well, and then reach out to us and we can sort of take it from there and meet with you and talk about those ideas a little bit more. Yeah, but I just want to thank you all for your time and for coming. Thank you for those that have shared as well. Really appreciate that. And Emma, for popping your hand up to help with the network as well. That's really amazing. Appreciate that. Are there any other comments from anybody before we finish? All right, we should close with a karakia. Did you want to do that, Jane?
Yes, just give me 1 second. I will get my karakia up. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Okay. Kua mutu o mātou mahi mo tēnei wā. Me nākitia mai mātou katoa, o mātou hoa, o mātou whānau, ai ki te aorangi. Thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thanks a lot.
Hope the weather is nice wherever you are and your afternoon is lovely. Go well.